Everyone, welcome to the IT Roundtable special Tuesday edition because we got Michigan tomorrow. I'm joined by my friends Justin Wells, Joe Cook, Ian Boyd, Paul Wadlington, and Eric Nalleen. And we are going to tell you everything you need to know about this matchup. You can get it in writing too. 50% off Ultimate Fan Bundle, Inside Texas, On3, and Rivals. So you'll get the national football news from On3 and the recruiting side over at Rivals. And if you go to Inside Texas, you're going to get it all. Gentlemen, let's begin with a magnificent matchup versus Michigan that is very weird, but we have broken it down and will continue to do so. First, I want to start with Justin. In the fun world of portal/recruiting, portal recruiting all together, Justin, your thoughts for the fans?
Yeah, so the portal stuff has been a lot of fun here in the last few weeks. That's what everyone's talking about. That's what everyone's asking about. And honestly, that's a lot of the work we're doing behind the scenes. It involves the transfer portal, not just retention, but other schools and other players. And I think everything, the big name is Jaden Ball, and there's an expectation that he could be entering the portal. And I think Texas fans need to be, hold on loosely for that one. That one could be fun. Cam Coleman came out yesterday, and that was the biggest news of all. That kid's going to, command top dollar. And I think Texas is in a place where they want to go all in. I think they understand that 2026 is going to be the run. Like we reported, Arch Manning taking a rev share cut just to help out in that regard, I think is huge. Just understand, fans, January 2nd is when we can really start talking about names and information and things of that sort, because you got to be really cautious when it comes to the portal. A lot of schools tamper, but there are some that don't. And so you got to we have to really be cautious for not just for Inside Texas, but for Texas football as well. And so that's something we're looking at. But also, guys, you got to check out. You got to go to the site right now. Charlie Williams is down in Orlando for the Under Armour practices and meet and greet, and he is killing it with some of the 2027s that you really need to know. He's got a big one on Easton Royal, the commit, because Lane Kiffin and those guys are not going to stop coming after him, among other schools. We got a junior day note that's going to be big that you need to go check out at InsideTexas.com as well. And so Charlie Williams is on the road killing it with that. And Eric and I are hunkering down with the portal information. It does not stop. It is the most fluid thing I think we have dealt with since we've been on this job. Things change by the hour. The agents make it interesting. And then you've got the parents on the other side of when it comes to the retention and re-signing guys, that's to me as important as the guys that Texas is going after. And so honestly, you just got to come check it out. We'll have another portal report coming up here in a couple hours at InsideTexas.com. We'll have more notes. Just come and see us, man. It's a great time, and it's really good to take off your mind of Michigan before New Year's Eve.
Thank you, Justin. Joe, the beat. Sark's been doing his bowl game rounds. They've been having practices. Our Evan Veith has been on the ground there, and that's been awesome. So, Joe, what have we learned from Sark's availability? But also, we got Flood. We had Nansen. What's going on? What do we need to know?
Yeah, Evan got his chance to talk to Kyle Flood, Johnny Nansen. There's a lot. That the bowls are pretty fun because I don't care what people think of bowls. It's a lot of good opportunities to hear from players, hear from coaches you don't usually get to hear from. With Kyle Flood, he talked about his mostly unsuccessful search for a consistent offensive line this season, just between the rotating door at left guard, mixing and matching at center, and talking about how it was a challenge for him and the team, obviously. And again, unsuccessful search. Johnny Nansen talked a little bit about just being a coordinator again, as somebody's grabbing bowl backpacks of years past. You had Arch talk about his decision, why he elected to come back. Trevor Gooseby talking about the decision in front of him. That's coming after the Citrus Bowl. Guys like Colin Simmons, he liked Pete Kwiatkowski. He liked playing for him and said it hurt when he got let go. And then Sark obviously was talking a lot about the younger players that he's gotten to see. We have a whole list. Evan had documented the list of younger players, basically one at every position almost. But Sark had a big moment today. We had that tweet over on Inside Texas Twitter account. We even had, I think, the video on here talking about just he could be on a phone with the agent later today an agent who could be of varying professional ability could say, here's the number that I'm looking for. And Sark could say something like, well, good luck trying to find that number. And if you don't hear it, give me a call back. So a lot going on. I know Paul was real happy to see Texas reporters asking about the entire state of college football instead of this individual game. But Sark has a little bit of a bully pulpit because of the steer head that he wears on his shirt, and they're going to value what he's talking about when it comes to big college football issues.
Well, you ask about the team, sometimes you'll get one-word sentences. You ask about the state of college football, you'll get about 30 minutes. So people have figured that out with Sark. Ian, our analyst friend, you're going to lead off here as you squint your eyes. You're going to lead off here, man. What do we need to know about the Texas defense? Been a lot of opt-outs. This one could be a little blurry, but we've done some breakdowns. I think you know what you're talking about here. So please enlighten us, Texas defense.
Well, they have a pretty tough predicament in that Michigan is a power running team with a roster full of big blockers and big running backs and even a dual threat quarterback if they were to actually use it. I don't know if they really want to or if Underwood is about it, but theoretically could come at Texas from a million different angles, a million different formations, loads of big blockers. And put in the way of that, Texas has 2 scholarship recruited linebackers, couple tough walk-ons that may give a good go of it. Remade safety room that's missing a senior leader for the draft opt-out path. So there's a lot of different ways Texas could go about this, but there's this central question of how are you going to stop the Michigan run game and keep the Wolverines from just controlling this game from start to finish in the line of scrimmage. Me and Paul brainstormed like a million different things Texas could do in this game. All of them have to revolve around sell out to stop the run, take your chances with Bryce Underwood trying to throw his 13th touchdown pass of the season versus his 10th interception, right? And see if you can get out of this game with Arch Manning just carrying you and the defense duct taped together, forming some kind of wall that stops Michigan from running the ball.
Yep. Gap discipline, baby. That we're gonna need some gap discipline. That's the big thing. They'll spread you out and create E and they'll create Z gaps if you let them. And so we got to be ready for that. Paul, Texas offense, you get Arch Manning, man. So you get the prime topic here. Is it going to be Arch ball? What do you think?
A lot of smart people are saying we should sit Arch Manning in this game and play a walk-on, I guess.
Smart.
Well,
Yeah.
people. How about people? People are saying that.
Look at you saying a McCallum Knight should play.
Hated rival. But listen, I think it's going to be an interesting game. I mean, this is the part of the unit that has the least opt-outs, although Texas will be without, obviously, several running backs. We're going to be going to Christian Clark, Michael Terry, some Ryan Niblett catching swing passes. Simon, we might see some run. But I think what's going to be interesting, and this is kind of what I think for Michigan, if you kind of want to flip the battlefield here, this is Wink Martindale's last game coaching at Michigan. So is he going to go out throwing the kitchen sink at everything and he's taking this really seriously, like this is his last professional statement? Or is he already looking at houses in Florida and he's just going to kind of run out some guys and see how it goes? We don't know until we show up. But here's one thing that I would suggest. They should disrespect the Texas running game. And what I mean by that is when Texas comes out in 12 personnel, and we should, because when Ohio State did that, when USC did that, even to a lesser extent when OU did that, Michigan matched that by going to their base 3-4 defense. And when they do that, they kind of lose out on some team speed, and you can attack them on the edges. And then you can take some deliberate shots downfield. What if Michigan says, we're just going to stay on our nickel no matter how you guys line up? And if you think you can run the ball down our throats, why don't you do that? We don't think you can do that. That would be my biggest fear for this Texas offense coming into this game. Fortunately, Wink Martindale has proven to be a creature of habit, not only his tendencies as a zone blitzer, but also in terms of always matching personnel dutifully, whether or not you can actually run the ball, right? But if I'm Michigan and I've got nothing to lose, why not just say, we don't think you can run the ball. We're going to stay in nickel personnel. You're going to have to beat us through the air against our best personnel matchups on defense. Now, the thing that does help Texas in this regard is Michigan is going to be without. They do have 2 key opt-outs, which is their 2 best edge rushers. That's Jyshawn Barham and then Derek Moore. So those are 2 really good athletes. Without them, Michigan is going to struggle to get pressure. We've also said that other teams might struggle to get pressure going against the Texas O-line, and they got pressure. So the key is what Ian and I have narrowed it down to on the deep dive is if one guy gets through, Arch will take care of it. If 2 guys get through, we're in trouble. So let's limit it to 1. Let's try to find some ways to maybe scheme up some of our protections. And also, if we're worried about our running backs getting exposed in pass pro, maybe let's put Townsend in the backfield. Let's be creative. Let's line up that big guy who likes contact, and he's also a very capable receiver if he slips out of the backfield. Let's try to vary it up a little bit and not put a Niblett, a Simon, a Christian Clark, a Michael Terry in a position where they have to pick up a 245-pound blitzing linebacker. So anyway, that's what I'd look for. Not so much what we do on offense. I know what we want to do, and I think you know what we want to do. But let's look at what Michigan does on defense. And if you see them stay in their personnel packages like nickel, could be an interesting day. If they actually match our personnel packages, I think Sark's going to get in Wink Martindale's head, and we might have a pretty good day of offense.
If you want to hear even more from Ian and Paul, we will have a deep dive airing later today where they go even more in depth. But great job, guys. We're about to hear from Eric on the team news side. But first, Laura Baker.
If you're looking for a home in the Austin area, there's only one number to call. That's Laura Baker at 512-784-0505. Laura's a part of the elite Andy Allen team at Keller Williams Realty. She's helped Longhorns find their dream homes all over Central Texas. You can just ask our very own Ian Boyd, who moved from Michigan to Texas with Laura's help. Whether you're searching in Austin, Round Rock, Georgetown, San Marcos, or even parts of the 254 or the 210, Laura has you covered. So call 512-784-0505, or you can email her at laura@andyallenteam.com. She's a Longhorn, a friend of Inside Texas, and the person you need to call to get your next home in Central Texas. Call Laura Baker today. Contact info is in the description.
Thank you very much, Laura. Y'all give her a call if you need one of those houses. Eric, team news. You've been dropping intel like crazy, man. Normally we get like some piece together, overall. It's like we're getting it every day now, man. I'm enjoying it. And you dropped one this morning. What do we need to know? What does Texas want to do against Michigan?
Well, first, you got to give the people what they want. They care more about the portal just like I do. I've spent like 90% of my time this month on roster management. We got a moderator thread over at Inside Texas. Yes, we have to walk on eggshells. We can't be totally out there with names and all that. But our board already expects one guy on defense that's a stud. Very likely the talk is that he's going to end up at Texas. I can't say explicitly, but if you read between the lines, things become pretty obvious. So make sure to check that out. Paul mentioned Wink Martindale. What's he going to do on defense? Is he going to throw the kitchen sink at Texas or just kind of mail it in? He's already got a change of address for sure. But on Texas, we know with all the defects or the opt-outs, the coaching change, it's going to be simple. I think that's going to allow all the younger guys in the secondary to play faster. Obviously, for the linebackers, it's going to be easier too without Anthony Hill and Leonga Lafau. So simplifying is the key. Simplifying, even when they were full of veterans, was the key against A&M. So I think simplification is going to help this team out a lot. They're very young in the back end. They're young at corner. They're still very talented, but they are young and inexperienced. Experience goes a long way. And who knows, they got a GA, a grad assistant. He's a talented grad assistant. He's going to be a good coach running the back end. So I don't know quite what to expect. Luckily, Underwood, as Ian said, is seeking his 13th touchdown. Running back, another point of emphasis. Michael Terry moved up to second string this week. Kind of surprising. Christian Clark, number 1. Terry passed James Simon, which I don't think anybody expected that. This is Jabbar Jaluk's first look at these guys, so you expect some reshuffling with the new coaching staff. But when Muschamp gets a hold of these guys, it's going to look different than what we think right now. But obviously, Michael Terry brings size and power that nobody else has on the roster at the position. And he's a pretty decisive guy, physical, and they like what he's bringing to the table. Christian Clark is still number 1. I have no idea what to expect out of the running game, largely because I don't know what to expect out of the offensive line. Kyle Flood met with media recently, and he talked like it was kind of just a normal season up front. They just figured out their identity later on, and everything's going great. Not really what fans wanted to hear. Certainly not how we've covered it this offseason. The running backs, I guess you have to grade on a curve. They're young, and the offensive line has not been great. But overall, I'm excited to see the youth, especially on the defense. And then on offense, I'm looking forward to seeing Terry and Dalen McCutcheon and maybe a glimpse of Khalil Lockett. But it's a bit patchwork, but the patches are extremely talented, just inexperienced. We're going to see a lot of WTF plays. Some of those will have question marks. Some of them will have exclamation points, just given all the talent and experience. I think Texas has prepared pretty hard, but obviously Steve Sarkisian has been preoccupied with staff turnover, portal management, wearing his GM hat, and everything else. I don't know quite what to expect from this team, but I'm looking forward to tuning in.
Yeah, fans don't want Flood. You must admit your sins in public in front of us, and you must.
Hey, man, I wanted to hear some of that too, because obviously it's going to be some coach speak, but goodness gracious, man, that's what he's saying did not match any of our eyes.
Yeah,
that's what I told Evan, Eric. I had to talk with Evan after that, and I was like, man, this doesn't even sound like he's answering the same questions.
Yeah.
All right, quick question before we do predictions here. Do you gentlemen believe that we should go after Auburn wide receiver? I would assume that's Cam Coleman, or spend that money on multiple pieces. So you can answer this directly, but also I think the argument is just on the board. Do you get two when you can get for the price of one? What is y'all's philosophy? We'll start with, let's give it to our portal guys. Justin, you start, and then Eric next. Or Eric goes for whoever.
Yeah, let me take this one.
It's a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier.
I had protracted text conversation yesterday. I was at the vet. My dog is barking like crazy, and I'm texting like mad with Justin over this because he doesn't want. We talked about opportunity cost. Does it cost you offensive guards, or does it cost you Ryan Wingo potentially? Here's the thing. It all matters what the budget is. We don't know their budget. So you kind of have to trust that their decision is not going to hurt them elsewhere in a way that kind of hurts them in the past year, that kneecaps them entirely. I do think that they've got enough budget to go after Cam Coleman, even retain Ryan Wingo, and it not cost them entirely. Now, obviously, they might have to get a tier 2 guard instead of a tier 1 guard. But then you run the cost benefit analysis of having Cam Coleman, who stretches the field vertically, and if you keep Ryan Wingo, stretches it horizontally, and he can do it vertically. That's the best bet. So if they have the budget to not hurt them elsewhere, then you have to do it.
Spend on multiple pieces. I feel like that. There's just so many other holes, man. And there's holes that have been created in the last month. We weren't expecting a ginormous hole at linebacker. Now you got to fill that in. So there's just so many things, and it's easy to fall in love with Cam Coleman. That's a potential lottery pick in the NFL draft one day. Like, he can do that, but it's just going to be an ultimate juggling match with Sark and all those guys.
I don't know if I'm going to make it the next couple months, man, or the next week or two. Why are we playing by cap rules? Why are we playing by cap rules when no one else? They just invent shit, man. It's crazy.
Because Texas
is playing by the same rule. They're going with the flow of traffic, man. It's plainly obvious.
Predictions. Justin, why does Texas win, brother?
So I have to say Texas wins.
God. No, you don't. I'm just messing with you.
No, actually, no, man. I think Texas pulls this out. I think it's going to be a fun game because there's going to be a lot of questions, a lot of opt-outs, a lot of new faces on both sides. You got the Wink Martindale. He's probably going to go host a game show at this point when he's done with Texas. They're going in there. They're all in for 2026 direction. I just think Arch Manning in the offense was playing at such a high level for the last 3 or 4 games of the season, really 5 games of the year. I think they can carry that over. I really do. But I think Michigan's also going to pull some tricks out of the hat. I think Bryce Underwood's going to be able to make some plays. I like Texas 34, Michigan 27. I think it's going to be a fun game. It's a Citrus Bowl. And in the past, the Citrus Bowl has always been fun. I think Peyton Manning played in this thing a couple times. I think Spur even took a shot at him about playing it in the third. But at the end of the day, I like Texas. I think Arch and those guys are playing at a high level, and I think that can make up for what they're going to be missing on defense.
Cool. Joe, do you want me to read your prediction aloud for you? Okay, I will do Joe's. He has loud, a sweet young child crying. Joe believes Texas will win 27-24, and Mason Shipley is the game winner there.
Of course he would go with a specialist to win the game.
I'm surprised he didn't go punter there, but all right, yeah. Joe, I'll take that. I'll take that. And he does. Wow, you just typed again. Yeah, he does want to sit Arch Manning. too. So that's pretty wild. That's crazy, Joe. I can't really believe you said that.
No, Polly typed that. Arch,
That was
I mean,
Polly.
Joe did not type. That's Polly trying to make sure she can see Arch really well next year.
Ian.
I think that my score in the roundtable was 27-24 Michigan. I really don't know. This game was a lot easier, I think, when it was like Texas has everyone opting out and Michigan's coach is in prison. But things have gotten a lot more complicated since then with like every day Biff Poggi has some new number about how many Michigan players are actually going to play in this game. I think it's going to be as simple as Michigan is bringing running backs and linebackers into this game and Texas isn't. And so they're going to win. But I'm not sure. And I definitely don't rule out that Arch Manning could just hero ball Texas to victory in this one.
I'm down with it. Paul.
You think Michigan's just going to go through us like a hot butter knife through butter?
You did that.
Only fans won't like that.
That is true. He said he was going to do it. He said he was going to get a butter knife in there at some point.
I think I have no idea. I liked a lot better when Texas, when Michigan coach was in prison, everything was falling apart. Everyone was in the portal. Biff Poggi went on a podcast saying we're not going to have a single player return for Christmas break. And then Michigan shows up with a nearly full roster and we're down like 9 starters total. So I had strong feelings about a Texas blowout a while back. And now I have no idea. Honestly, this is such a cop-out, but it's true. Whatever team wants to be there will win. The team that wants to be there will win. It's why you should bet service academies in bowl games, because they want to be there and they're going to play really hard. And the other team's like, this is fun. Let's go out. And the service academy guys are like, we're just happy to be off our campuses and like we can interact with girls, right? So I just think that whoever shows up wins. There's an argument. Both teams at full strength, I'd take Texas by margin. I'd take Texas by 3 touchdowns. But we're not at full strength. I have no idea what the priorities are. And frankly, Texas's larger priority should be 2026, just as Michigan's larger priority should be 2026. So it's a great helmet game, 2 great blue blood programs. I literally have no clue who's going to win this game. It's just who wants to play. And I can't handicap that.
I said earlier, what I'm waiting for is all 22 of the defensive backs. That's really what I'm most excited to watch for.
Pointing and doing a lot of that.
Yeah, I want to see like Roberson's fast. He's going to look good next year. So yeah, a lot of it is an advanced scout for the following year. Eric, let me guess, you're picking Texas.
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Let's work through it. This game was a lot easier to predict before they reopened Alcatraz for Sharon Moore. Since then, I think a lot more things have come to light. What Paul says, motivation, that's what I mention all the time with bowl games. That's why I picked Texas to win the Sugar Bowl against Georgia, which everybody thought was outlandish, but it was strictly based on motivation. And so what team wants to be there? Does Michigan galvanize around their current situation? They have very few opt-outs. That's possible. But overall, I feel like there's a really good program momentum behind Texas. I think Sark is certainly locked in every facet that I can deem. I've been inspecting, asking everybody I can. Everybody at the highest levels, at the lowest levels, thinks Sark is totally locked in. I think that's going to come out on the team too, even though they've got some issues to work around. I picked Texas to win, but I picked 21-20. It's going to be a close one. Could go either way. We'll see who wants it.
All right. And I predict more great content coming right at you. And I want to see you on Inside Texas, where you can get 50% off. It's Transfer Portal Mania. Trust me, you're going to want to use it. It's going to get wild. Ultimate Fan Bundle. Not just Inside Texas, not just on 3. You can pair that with Rivals as well. That's incredible, incredible value. Keep an eye out for Deep Dive. And then, of course, tomorrow we're going to have our normal pregame and postgame, all that jazz. Everyone, thank you so much. To my coworkers and best friends, thank you guys as well. Everyone have a great day. Later.